stop. Now try this. Okay, get this. That's exactly how you do the target method. You respond. We can make up our own forms doing this. You could take, there are actually variations on the first 5. Nobody practices them because they're not untested. But on Sensei's video, there's actually variations for all 5 of the first 5 kumitachi. Everybody seen those? Okay. And they're kind of interesting. It's just nobody practices them much. Some of them are really interesting variations because it involves, right in the middle of the form, changes who wins. Okay? That's a really good way to look at this. Are you familiar with Saito Sensei's kumitachi? Okay. Saito does a really brilliant organizational job of how to explain how these forms work. So you got a 5-move form. Okay, that's your basic form. Dup, da, dup, da, dup. That's the awase, that's the story. Okay, and then he actually has an empty hand finish and a weapons finish for each of the moves inside the form. Okay, so where's your sword? Where's my sword? God, who took my sword? Somebody's always taking my sword. I'm sure it's your fault. Okay, so like kumitachi number 1. Ba-boom. Do the real basic. So ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Okay? Saito's quite interesting because what he does is he points out that on ba-boom, ba-boom, there's an empty hand finish at that point. Okay? So remember saying change the spacing, change the timing. I stepped in instead of stepping back. That's a possible finishing place. Then there's a weapons finish. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Then on the second move. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Weapons finish. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Basically an empty hand. Okay? That's inside all 5 moves. Every single move is a place where if you weren't backing up, you could have entered. And then the thing could finish any place during that. And that's the way they practice it. That's a really good way. We could take every one of our forms and kind of try and look at it that way. It's like, what would happen if I stepped in instead of stepping back? Okay. Then you ask yourself, why don't I do that? It's because he owns it. If he's got me in reaction to him, then I have to step back and the form will keep going. But the moment I get an opening, I should step in. Because that's my job. Everybody's supposed to try to get the other guy centered. So if you're talking about how to use forms to train that, you set up some variations on these things. And then when we do them, anytime he isn't coming, I'm entering. And that's what you train yourself to do. If he's not coming, I'm entering. And it becomes more instinctive. And that's what those Saito's forms are supposed to do. You will see Sensei do these, and those variations that are on this film are, I don't think they're organized quite as tightly as I would have liked. A couple of the moves he does, you kind of see him just like, okay, I want to do another variation. So he just does something and it kind of seems funky. But some of them are really like, oh yeah, that's a real opening. I can see how that would produce that. And it's really worth doing. But you can do that on your own, just like we're sitting here. You don't need Sensei to do this for you. It's like, okay, here's the arbitrary thing. But if we got there and you beat me, is there really a response? It's not over. It's not over till you're, down and out. Okay? So we could play with that. And every one of those moves could have that in it. Does that make sense? Okay? The form's a tool. Later you play with it. You use the tool for your training. It is not the end point, knowing the form. It's what you do with it later. So I say, what if? If we got here, am I really dead? No, not unless you've got that tip a little closer to me. I still have something to respond. Can I keep my forward energy and change the angle? Okay? Da-da-da-da-da. All of that stuff. And you just play with it and play with it and play with it. And eventually, you're pretty good with a sword. Okay? I think everybody, we spent a lot of time on that the other day, right? So I think everybody just do the whole form, the whole thing start to finish at whatever speed you're capable of doing it relatively precisely. And then we're going to move on to something else. Right?